All right, guys. How's it going? You all right? Yeah, good. So, I'm not going to get too deep into the Julian, Ward, Michael Edwards rumours and claims. I know where they originate from, and I'd rather leave them alone for the time being. But what I am going to say is this, and I want you to consider this, right? Liverpool Football Club should be able to attract the best of everything, right? Whether they're the best players, the best managers, the best sporting directors. And we were unable to do that the last time around, yeah? Which is why we ended up with Boy George, right? Now, the top sporting directors didn't want the job at Liverpool. And you've got to ask yourself why that is. We discussed it many times before on here. And the FSG out people will immediately say, well, it's because there's no money there and it's terrible conditions and all that. I don't think it was that. That's why we didn't recruit a proven, sporting director with an immense CV that was wanted by the best clubs in Europe. I think if you are going for that position, that you say to the people employing you, what's the 5-year plan? Where will we be in 5 years? Where will you be in 5 years? And I think the owners at that time said, we don't know if we're going to be here. We're going to be completely honest. We're evaluating whether we should sell, blah, blah, blah. And I think that is off-putting to someone that is possibly looking at taking on a big project like at Liverpool Football Club. So we failed to recruit the best sporting directors for that reason, in my opinion. Now, Boy George, people are speculating about whether he'll still be at the club or whatnot, and whether he's done well or whether he's going to be thrown under a bus or whatnot. But at the moment, we're seeing speculation and rumours. That's all it is regarding Edwards and Ward. Apparently they're coming back to save us and everything. And I think it shows a lack of ambition in the fan base that we have to look backwards. We've seen this years ago, prior to Jurgen Klopp, that we'd sell a player and then 6 months later we were already talking about can we re-sign him? Can we get him back? Liverpool Football Club should be able to go out there and get equal, if not better, than Edwards, for example. You don't need to go backwards. You can. What happens is when you fail, if a new signing fails, you might look at the player that new signing replaced and say, I wish we'd never sold him. Can we get him back? And that's what's happening with the sporting director situation. People are immediately assuming that George is underperforming. So we need to get Ward back or Edwards back or something like that. What the fuck? Why do we need to get anyone back? Why can't we just go out there and find the best in the fucking game? Better than them, at the very least equal to them. Why do we have to go back? The mentality of going back all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like a relationship, innit? You might break up with your bird or your boyfriend or something like that. Might not work out for a while, and it's like, well, shall I go back to him? Shall I go back to her? When the reality is, if you've got anything about you, you'll find someone that will make you just as happy, if not happier, if you take your time and if you're a decent asset and you've got qualities, as Rafa Benitez would say. So I think we need to stop the talk of, the desperation of trying to bring back one of these guys. If one of these guys comes back, then fine, fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. If anything, I'd have put aside the transfer budget in the summer and said, fuck spending 115 million on Caicedo. Let's get Edwards back and give him, pay him 15 million a year. Then we don't have to go through the bollocks of the summer knowing that Boy George was probably going to fuck it all up being out of his depth. So I could understand, that you would want these people back. I can understand it, guys. I really can. But, we're supposed to be Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? We should be going out there and not even having to advertise a job. People should be begging for a job at Liverpool Football Club. So let's adapt a bit more of a positive attitude rather than a loser's attitude. If either of these gentlemen came back, fine, let them get on with it. Great, fantastic, whoopee fucking woo, right? But let's stop the obsession of Julian Ward and Michael Edwards, right? There's plenty of people in the game, far more experienced than them two, that we should be looking at and asking why they're not in that current position. So the owners need to sort their shit out, and then we might have some stability and some, concrete foundations for a new guy to come in. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. So I'm having a moan because I'm not against going backwards. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that. But at the same time, I just think, hang on, we're Liverpool Football Club. We shouldn't have to be going, we need him back. Fuck that shit, guys. Thumbs up the video if you agree with me. drop me a comment, please. I'd like to see what you think.